Hello dear students, how are you? Today we are going to discuss what is list comprehension. So let us understand what is list comprehension. In many situations you might have find yourself waiting to read a list of lists, or you can see filtering columns names, removing vowels from list, or flattening a matrix. You can easily use a lambda functions we have discussed in previous topic, and we can use a for loop for doing it, but Python also provides another way to do these tasks by using simply a list comprehension. Okay, so let us understand list comprehension using a Python code. Okay, for this we are going to create a simple program where we are going to add the letters of a string. Okay, for example, we have a human, we have a variable called x is equals to human. Now I want to create a list. Okay, so for that what I used to do is for I in, let's say, x, and then we have a list, let's say lst is equals to a list, and then lst dot append, we are going to have a x. Okay, now if you try to print, our work is done. Print, let's say x, and execute this. Okay, so you can see human is here, and if I try to print the list lst, and you will notice my value is, oh, I have to use I. Okay, my mistake, sorry. You can see now it is being done, right? So human is, all the characters are in my list. Okay, now this task is a little bit lengthy, you can say. It's easy but it's lengthy. Same task can be achieved in just 2 lines, okay, by using list comprehension. Let us learn how to do it. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to create a list, say lst1 is the variable, and then use a list comprehension. Okay, so here inside the brackets I have to use a expression first. So expression is our x, and for, let's say, x in a word, let's say it could be a human, right? And we are done. Let us try to print this lst1, and you will notice my work is done. Okay, let us get rid of all the other things so that it doesn't bug us. Okay, now let us run this program and see my task is done. So here what we have used an expression which is a result of a for loop. Okay, if you use a for loop, what will it will give you? It will give you h for the first time, and it goes to the list, and it is appended to the list. Okay, now to better understand this expression, let us have a little complicated one, and let us specify 3. So now what it does, it will eject the first h, and then it will multiply to 3, that is h, and append to the list. Let us run this program and see. So you can clearly see it is an expression. Okay, now if I say x is equals to a, and then specify it, then you will get only a here. Oh sorry, you will get a false, and true, and then false. Let us run this program and see. So here you get a true. So you might have understand why this is called an expression, or why it is used. Now for you, here is the syntax: expression, then a usual for loop to iterate a list. And what it will do, it will give you an item, and then you can have any calculation in this part, right? So here is your expression, and here is your loop. Okay, previously also we have used another way of doing the same task. Let us we have a list 2 is equals to, then we are going to convert into a list, and using a map function and a lambda. Okay, map, and then specify a lambda expression, lambda, and then x colon x comma, let's say, human. Okay, now let us try to print this value. Okay, less this 3, and you should be getting human. Okay, now see, we are getting a human. So either way, you can use a lambda expression which we have learned previously, or you can use a list comprehension. And let us run this, execute this program, and you can see I'm getting here. So here, what is the difference? You are writing an expression here, and in lambda you have to write expression here. Okay, and here is your each and every element of your list. So either way you can do it, but if you see this expression or statement, you will find that this one is more obvious and easy to read and understand, right? As compared to this, you have to use a map function which applies your lambda expression to all the elements in the list. Okay, now let us have a condition in the list. Here we were getting only true. Now what I'm going to do is, let's have a x here and specify if condition here. So if we can specify x, let's say modulus 2 is equals to 0, and then specify it. Let's we have some value, or we can use simply a range. Let's say we have a range of, let's say 5. Okay, it should be 15, let's say. Okay, and now let us try to execute this piece of a code and see. So here what you are getting, only even numbers. First of all, loop is executed, and for each and every element your if condition is applied, and if it is true, then it gives you only that value in x. Okay, now what if we want to use a nested if? And then you will find it is going to give you 10, because what it does, first of all, it tries to evaluate this, and if it is true, then it tries to evaluate this. If both the condition are true, then only it will give you a x, right? That's why we are getting 10 here. Okay, let us do more practical example. We have modulus 4 equals to 0. Okay, let us try to execute this piece of a code and see. Okay, equals to let's say 0, and then try to execute the code. Now you will find, see, the values which are divisible by both 4 and 2 are here. Okay, so in this way we can use nested if. Now let us use a if else in a list. Okay, suppose we want even an odd value depending upon the values in the list. So what I can do, let's say we have lst is equals to, we are going to have use a list comprehension, and then specify like this. Okay, we are going to give it a even value. This is an expression, you can see. If it is divisible by 2, then we are going to use a 0, and else we are going to have a odd value, and for I in range, let's say up to 20, that will be fine. Okay, let's run this program and see the output. See, so we have 0 is equals to how much? Even, odd, then these are the list, you can say. Okay, so I'm getting all the values using a if and else. Now we are going to use a nested for loop in the list comprehension to flatten the matrix. Okay, we have, let's say, a matrix. Matrix is a two-dimensional array or a list. So here is my first list element, that is 1 5 1 3 5 6. You can see it's 4, and then I'm going to use a comma, and the second element, let's say 4 5 3, and it doesn't have to be in a symmetry. Okay, let's use this one. Here what I'm going to do is, let's say we have a t is equals to, then we are going to use a for loop for this one, and use somewhat like this. X, let's use a for row in, we are going to use a matrix, and then space for x in, let's say, row. Okay, that will be fine for us. Let us run this program and print the t. Okay, let's run this program and see. Now you can see my nested list is flattened. Okay, or I have converted into a single dimension list. That's all for today. Hope you have learned list comprehension. Remember, as per CBSE guidelines and syllabus, it is not in your syllabus.